Good noon. I will get this all straightened out someday. I know I will. Welcome to our weekly spiritual spa, your Sunday spiritual indulgence. We're here to make you feel better if you're feeling bad, and to help you feel even better if you're feeling fine. And and we can do a little spiritual urgent care. That's what we need to do as well. Before I go any farther, let me tell you that we're having some internet challenges here today. Spectrum must have stayed up too late last night and partied too hard, and it seems to be kind of going in and out this morning. So, at least on my screen, I'm very fuzzy, and I'm not, I don't think. Um, but if I go away, I'm not being rude, and I will try to come back. If I don't make it, please know that I love you and I really want to be with you. But this seems to be one of those things over which I have almost no control. So, well, here we go. And let's just see what happens. You know, Ernest Holmes, the author of The Science of Mind and founder of religious science, used to open his television show with the words, "There is a power for good in the universe, and you can use it." I wish Spectrum knew that. Anyway, it is true. You can, but the greater fact is that you can also not not use it. Double negative, that doesn't work. In fact, you're using it all the time because it is done unto you as you believe. And so that power for good, which pretty much only says yes to what you believe, creates according to your belief. The important part, then, of Dr. Holmes' admonition is to remember to use it for good. So I'm going to ask you to go within for a moment and consider these ideas. They are really the foundation of what we believe. We are here to remember who we are. We are children of creation. We are here to remember that we really are created in the image and likeness of God, of creation, of whatever you choose to call the creative motivating force of the universe. We're here to heal our misconceptions and to release whatever beliefs may be no longer serving us. We are here to learn how to use our divine inheritance to make our lives and our world a better place. We are here to be awake, to inspire, to uplift, to heal and make whole ourselves and our world. So, I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. Like I say, I'm very fuzzy at this end of the world, and I don't know why that is. I don't think it's my camera. I think it's the way Spectrum is sending information back and forth. Um, Although it could be Facebook, I suppose. Anyway, um, I'll try to stay with you this morning, and we'll just kind of see what happens. I've I've got a question for you this morning, and forgive me if it sounds like a pickup line. What sign are you? A few more questions, all related. Did you read your horoscope today? Did you? Today, or yeah, today. Let's stick with today. Hmm? I'm fuzzy with you too. Okay, thank you, Dana, for letting me know. I appreciate that. Apparently, there isn't much I can do about it at this end, but here we are. Maybe I'll clear up before the day has gone on. So, did you read your horoscope today? Do you usually? Do you think that it describes you? Let me talk about what I'm going to talk about, and we'll go from there. Okay? Um, I'll launch into what I'm kind of motivated to talk about this morning, and and then we'll talk. Okay? Okay. Stay with me for a minute while I try to push yet another button and see what that does for us. Okay. Looky there. So far, so good, I think. Now, I don't claim to know a lot about astrology. Jen, it's not you. It's just whatever's going on. Um, Let me try one more thing. Don't go away. Don't go away. I'm going to try to change my camera settings. If I can find my... There it is. There are my camera settings. Come on. Where are you? There you are. You'll go there. And we'll go there. I have no idea what that's going to do. But maybe it'll help. Now I can't close the window. Our computers have just been running ridiculously slow this morning, so I'm not sure that anything I do is going to make a difference, and that would be Spectrum's challenge, wouldn't it? Oh, there I am, and yes, I'm fuzzy. Okay. Let's see. Let me come down here for a minute. I don't think it's going to change a thing. And I think I'm going to get that notice that I hate because I don't know what to do about it. About changing the FPS. All right. Well, here we are. Here we are. I think I'm getting fuzzier and darker. Isn't that fun? I haven't done a thing to deserve this, I don't think. Okay, I'm just going to start talking. Bear with me, and we'll get through this together, or I'll get kicked off, or Facebook will go off. The lights are all blinking, and they shouldn't be blinking. But there we go. Okay. So, as I was saying, I don't claim to know a lot about astrology. Actually, I admit to knowing very little about anything except what relates directly to my sign. So, thank you, Jennifer. I know my sun sign is Libra, and that according to all of the different descriptions of all of the different signs, I am right on a Libra. And no other sign seems to fit me at all, and never has. Or maybe I just want it to be that way. I like what it says about Libra. Mostly, I tend to look at my astrology in the morning when it shows up on my computer. And if I like what it says, I acknowledge that it's perfect and that the astrologer is brilliant and that I'm going to have a great day. And if I don't like what it says, I hit delete and affirm that in spite of whatever I just read, I'm going to have a great day. It works for me. Excuse me, my throat's dry and I'm here alone this morning. But astrologically speaking, according to what I have kind of ventured into this week, this is kind of an interesting month. There was a beautiful harvest moon. I hope you saw it because it really was yummy. All golden and bright. And as much as I hate to be the bearer of seemingly bad news, Mercury goes retrograde tomorrow. We should be feeling some, oh, maybe that's what's going on. It is said that just before and just after there is kind of a flow over. So maybe that's what's going on. It's the Mercury thing. I'll go with that. Anyway, that means that the planet of communication, Mercury, is going back to where it's already been to take care of some unfinished business. And in the process, we'll probably mess up some of ours as well. Gratefully, this is the final retrograde of 2021. But that usually means miscommunication, mental mix-ups, muddled plans, tech challenges, and a lot of missed messages or half-delivered text. Are you with me on all of this? You've probably experienced some of this yourself. I know I have. We're promised, I'm not sure by whom, but we are promised that the delay to get the other half of the information which we didn't get when we were supposed to get it will all catch up and be straightened out once Mercury turns direct on October 18th. And picking up where it left off, then continues its journey through the astrological cycle, leaving the rest of us alone for the rest of the year. Also, say those who say that they know, there just has to be a modicum of faith that all the missing information will resurface and allow our lives to move forward as soon as Mercury does. It seems that faith and trust in the unseen are often the requirement of surviving Mercury retrograding. So it looks like getting through October may require some faith and patience, as well as the welcoming of some, well, pretty definite shifts and changes in our lives. So, here's the message. October and your life both require clear communication. Not because of the alignment of the stars, but because life itself takes its cues from us, from what we say and think and do, and how do we react to what is seemingly happening around us. And then life creates the experience of our lives from those thoughts and actions and words. So whether you believe in the ways of the stars or in the ways of the spirit, or simply in moments in life when doors are all wide open or seem to be slamming shut, are you doing what you need to do to walk through the open doors? If you want to experience a fresh perspective and brilliant new opportunities, and who doesn't? You've got to be ready for them. So, how do you prepare for that? How do you get your life ready to participate in the grand opportunities that await you? Or to be ready to handle the opportunities that sure look like challenges? What I believe is that we need to clear our minds of the way the world is, or the way the world works, beliefs that we hold, and press our personal reset button if we are ever to really accept the way it may yet be. There is a scene in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar where the nobleman Cassius is speaking to his friend Brutus, you remember him, and trying to persuade Brutus that in the best interests of the public, Julius Caesar must be stopped from becoming the monarch of Rome. Brutus, being his friend, is well aware of Caesar's intentions and is personally torn between his love of Caesar and what he feels is his duty to the Republic. Cassius reminds Brutus that Caesar is just a man, not a god, and that they are born equal to Caesar. They were all born equally free, and so why would they suddenly have to bow to another man? What Cassius is saying is that fate is not what drives men to their decisions and actions, but rather the direction of their minds. Specifically, what Cassius ultimately says is the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Based on the context in which the phrase takes place, and God forgive me for trying to rewrite Shakespeare, what might have been more accurate would have been if Cassius had said, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves. We believe that we are underlings. For clearly that was his point. That they were not underlings, certainly not to Caesar, who was born equal to him, and that they should take a stand for that. Now, I can't say that I agree with the stand that they took and the actions that they took on the Ides of March, but I do agree with the idea that none of them, and certainly none of us, are underlings, even though we may think that we are. And I agree that it is not the stars nor the circumstances of the gods that determine our fate, but rather our thinking and our actions based on that thinking that make the ultimate difference. Now here's a little note from history. Plutarch, who wrote about the actual time and the actual Caesar, wrote that a seer had warned Caesar that harm would come to him no later than the Ides of March. On his way to the theater of Pompeii, where he would ultimately be assassinated, Caesar passed the seer and joked, "The Ides of March have come," meaning to say that the prophecy had not been fulfilled. To which the seer replied, "Aye, Caesar, but not gone." Kind of sends a chill up your spine, doesn't it? The rest, as they say, is history. But let's remember that history is the story of what happened. And while it is interesting and while we may certainly learn from it, it's not what may yet be. What changes things, what determines our ultimate fate is not history, not the stars, but clarity. Clarity about ourselves, our place in the grand scheme of things, our place among the stars. Clarity about the power that lies within and all around us. Clarity about how to connect to that power. And clarity about how to direct that power to create an ever greater good in our lives. It is, I believe, all about communication. Communication with the power, connection to the power on a conscious level, with the understanding that we are not underlings, but rather we are co-creators with the infinite. And to the extent that we communicate clearly through our belief with that power, to the extent that we will create our lives in the image of paradise, to the extent that we believe that and believe that we can do that, to that extent we will live in paradise. Here's the thing. If there's something in your life that you want to improve or enlarge or embrace or accept or disappear or dissolve, push the reset button and with a clear mind Be clear that there is nothing casual or confused about your divine communication today. Might help to remember that throughout Mercury being retrograde. There is nothing casual or confused about your divine communication today, because you intend to be taken seriously by the universe, no matter what direction Mercury or even the world may appear to be going. The channel to spirit is always open, always clear. Nothing can stand in the way of that except your own fear or doubts or confusion about the power within you. Here's the truth. There is a power in the universe for good, and you can use it. But you must use it consciously. You must pay attention to what you are thinking and saying and believing. And you must not allow your fears or any former lack of understanding to control your fate. You are in charge. You may feel as if time is quickly running out and you're backed against a wall, but that's never true with spirit. According to the experts, the immediate future marks a turning point in what is an ongoing process. Remember that. Remember that your life is an ongoing process. Whether you are letting go of a previous attachment or firing up a new passion, this time or any time that you communicate clearly with spirit is the perfect time to move ahead with a renewed sense of direction and purpose and the knowledge that the universe has your back. You know, they say that Mercury retrograde is in fact a time of amazing opportunity and amazing misinterpretations. So it is absolutely a time to focus on what you wish to be or to do or to have and communicate that very, very clearly. To make sure that you are understood and to be patient with technology, as I really am trying to be today, based on personal experience. I couldn't agree more. And folks, since nothing lasts forever, this astrological phase will pass, and only spirit will remain. Only spirit never left, and never left you hanging. Now, here's some good news for autumn lovers. I happen to be one of them. Summer is not my favorite time of year, and I love it when it cools down and the trees start changing colors. 3:21 p.m. Eastern Time last Wednesday was the fall equinox. Technically speaking, the equinox occurs when the sun is directly in line with the equator and the days and the nights are of pretty much equal length. More importantly, I think, the equinox marks our transition into the season of pumpkin and pumpkin spice and everything nice. It's the beginning of a new meteorological season, but it's also the start of a new astrological season as the sun moves from the earthy, definite, put everything in order sign of Virgo to the lovely, balanced sign of Libra. Okay, I'm prejudiced. The transition from one astrological season to another kind of has a tendency to get our attention if we're paying attention. And if we are paying attention, gets us to stop for just a moment and think. And in the case of the fall equinox, it marks a great time to reset and refocus on striking a balance in our lives. So here's a question for you. Is your life in balance? Are you giving equal time to daytime and nighttime activities? Are you balancing work and play? Are you balancing the mundane and the miraculous? Are you giving equal time to your spiritual and your secular life? Are you finding a balance between what you believe about life and what is actually working in your life? Simply put, are you practicing what you preach? And if life is not as you would have it be, or if it's not as great as you believe it can be, if it feels out of balance, it is never a bad idea to push a reset button in your mind and in your beliefs. Be clear about who you are. And be clear, equally clear, about who you want to be. Be clear about the power within you. Be clear in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Make sure they all support one another. Be certain that they support your highest goals and your deepest aspirations. If you do that, I believe the astrologers may be absolutely right. That it may be a whole new season, and that you may very well, with the support of the universe, create a whole new life. And should the astrologers get the credit, so be it. I seriously doubt that Spirit cares who gets the credit. The universe is, after all, one vast system, and the laws of Spirit conspire to benefit everyone. But they also protect the integrity of Spirit's nature, which means that they reflect back to us exactly what we believe. Your responsibility, then, is to believe in your dreams. Believe in the nudges and the urges and the energy of Spirit within you. The laws of nature and the universe work with astounding accuracy, holding the stars and the planets in their perfect places, in their perfect order. And your individual world is a unique and individualized representation of the whole universe. It follows the same laws. It is governed by the same eternal and unchanging principle. Nothing else governs you, but everything supports you. Believe that there is order in the universe, and believe that there is order in your life. There's proof of it all around you. Believe that the stars, that Spirit's entire universe, works in your favor, and Spirit's laws will direct your course according to your belief. Believe that, and have faith. And you, my friends, will have so much more and be so much more than even the stargazers may have foretold. Know that you are impelled by your divine nature to make right choices. That you are compelled to act upon the decisions that you make. Let the presence of Spirit within you just fill your entire consciousness. And then surrender to the truth of your own being. Carl Sagan used to say, "You're made of star stuff." Don't you know? Star stuff. That's Spirit. It's in the universe. It's in the stars. And most importantly, it is in you. Believe. Believe. And then let Let your light shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. I'm I'm reading what you wrote while I was chatting, and I love it. Having a little technological challenges, are you today, Kirk? Well, ah, the forward swing of Mercury. Yeah. Thanks, Jen. I love fall too. It's all right, Heidi, that your schedule got messed up. You're with us now. Yay. And for anybody that came in late and didn't hear my announcement, Mercury is definitely going retrograde. Um, we're having spectrum issues here, which is, I think, why I am fuzzy and dark. I wasn't when I first signed in, but I kept getting darker and darker. And I don't know why it's fuzzy. I have tried readjusting everything I knew to readjust, and it doesn't seem to have made any difference. So let me read this stuff for a minute and see. At least, um, at least I didn't get the notice I've gotten the last 2 times that told me to adjust my FPS. I don't know how to do that. And then I looked it up, and I thought I did, but that may be part of the problem too. Dana's found us a closing song. Yay! Oh, thank you. Since my closing song musical person seems to be what she's doing. What she's doing is working on where we took down the old wrought iron balustrades out on the balcony and putting in some new ones that are wood and glass, and they're really quite lovely. I'll take some pictures and post them so you can see them. Top floor is done. The first floor is in process. So if you hear some noise outside, that's what's going on. There's also a pipe being changed for reasons I'm still not real clear about, but that's okay. I don't need to be. Um, I'm glad they're working on the ground floor and not the second floor, because that the way things are going today, that would make me a little bit nervous. Um, doesn't mean I don't pay attention to this stuff, just means I don't necessarily believe in all of it. However, since we are all experiencing technical issues today, I can't help but believe that some of this Mercury stuff is relatively accurate. It's just good to know, don't you think? I think that's good to know. I don't know why it's so dark. Oh, well. I look like I'm a dark brunette again. You never know with me anyway, do you? So there we go. So technologically, how are you doing? It's kind of fun to ask and to see what's going to pop up, because it sort of looks like we're all having challenges, which makes you think maybe there's something to all this. Actually, I do believe there's something to all of it, because if the universe is all one, if it's all interconnected, then why would it not affect us when planets and stars change? Mercury needs a hug. Yeah, it's probably true. That's probably true. All anybody ever, and see, nobody ever pays any attention to Mercury when it's going direct, do we? It's just, thanks, glad to have that behind us, and we move on. Maybe we just need to tell it we appreciate it when it's going direct, and maybe it would do that more often. Then again, that might fool everybody and screw up the entire universe. So, before I go any farther, I want to remind all of you of our current pet project. And you can check a box just below this one on my feed to get the information if you need it. But it's almost Hazel Rose's birthday. 4 more days. Yeah. And Hazel asked for friends for her birthday. So we're all being Hazel's friends. And we sent out a letter to several different places and posted it here, of course. And we have friends who are posting it in other places to send Hazel a card or a drawing. If you know some children, oh, please, that would be the best ever. If you knew some little kids about Hazel Rose's age, she's going to be 3, and let them draw a picture or send a photograph or something cool, and let Hazel know that they'd like to be her friend, and that when this pandemic passes, perhaps they can even really get to know each other, or make connections on Facebook or on Zoom. We could have a Zoom party, and everybody could show up. So just keep that in mind. If you've sent a card already, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't, please do. The address is with her picture on that post, which is just a few below this one. You can't miss the picture of Hazel Rose. She's just absolutely adorable, yummy. And so send her a greeting, get in touch. That would be just the very best for this precious little girl. And and make her birthday a happy, happy occasion for her. Her grandmother tells me that there's been quite a bit of mail, but don't let that stop you. We kind of want to inundate her and take it over the top. And I think you're just the people to do that. So please, hug Mercury, tell it it's doing a good job, that you'd like to work with it, and send Hazel a little note, a little something to say happy birthday to her. Please do that. Okay, so here we are. What do you think about this Mercury stuff and this astrological stuff? And if your thinking is getting in your way of your life, talk to me about it, and we'll pray on those things. Because we have, after all, don't we, an opportunity to pray as well before we are done with our little hour here together today. So join me, will ya, in knowing the highest and the greatest, and knowing that that life is good no matter what anybody says, and that our thinking makes it so. That was Shakespeare, too. It's a Shakespeare kind of day. So what can we do to be free of our fears and our self-judgments and our societally imposed judgments and fears? What would it take for you to believe at the level that your life reflects your belief in yourself and in others and in life in general and in the world and in God? Yeah, I think it all works together. I think it all works together. I believe that with all of my heart, that we are all connected to everyone and everything. And so that gives us a responsibility, does it not, to work on our own misconceptions to work on beliefs that are getting in our way, because if they're getting in our way, they're getting in everybody's way. Yeah, there's stuff going on. There is definitely stuff going on. And there's a power for good in the universe. And we can use it. It wants us to use it. That's its intention, I think. If the universe has an intention. And when we get out of our own way, things that look like miracles happen. And why not? Why not? Why not have? Why not expect? There's the secret. Why not expect miracles in your life? They're happening all around us every day. What is that? I had that song running through my head yesterday. 100 million miracles are happening every day. Some of them are meant to be yours. Don't you think? Claim them. Claim them. So, how about prayer requests? What would you like to change? What would you like to believe? What would you like to accomplish? What would you like to become? We can pray for anything. What would you like? Okay. Uncle Pete. Blood clots are scary things, aren't they? I mean, we react to them that way. Uncle Pete's going in for surgery. That means they know about it. They can do something about it. Yes. Okay, friend Lori. Heidi. Anybody else? Don't be overwhelmed, Heidi. You ask, it'll be answered. And the only thing that can get in the way of that, I really believe this with all of my heart, the only thing that can get in the way of that is ourselves. And I think the most powerful prayer request, possibly that you have ever made, was to get out of God's way. And that prayer too is answered. That's how it works. Great, Jen. You're right on track. You are right on track. Love it. Love it. You guys are wonderful. I thought for a while about doing a Little Red Schoolhouse this morning and just saying, okay, pretend I'm teacher. What spiritual questions have you got? And just turning you loose with questions. And he said, you guys already know so much. And you do. And you do. I'm so proud of you guys. I really am. So I'm going to put my prayer request out there too, that we grow this thing. I'll do a separate one for Little Red Schoolhouse and let people just bring their spiritual questions and play teacher. I can do that. You know, spiritual romper room, if you will. Clearly, I need your support and your help in this. So I'm going to ask for prayer support in growing this ministry and helping more people, bringing more people to the light. Please, if I can put that into the mix as well. Okay, so let me pray. If you think of anything else, just put it in the box. I'll catch it. I promise. Yes, growing in a good way. For sure, Jennifer, for sure. We would have it no other way, would we? Growing in God's way, in alignment with the universe. Yeah. And knowing that we have the support of the entire universe behind us. Because we do. Because we do. All right. So, here we go. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just take a gentle breath or a deep breath, whatever your body is asking for right now. Or simply soft, focus, but still take that breath. And let the breath and the focus take you within to the powerhouse within you. The place where you most feel the presence of God. It is all around and about you. There is no place where it is not. But there are places where we feel it the most, being human as we are. And if you can feel it all the way from the tippy top of your head to the tippy bottom of your toes, if you can feel it all the way down your arms and into your fingers, and in each breath that you take, well, so much the better. And we know that all that there is God, and that God is all that there is, and that means that it is all that we are as well. We cannot be separate from it, try as we sometimes might. One with God, one with God, one with God, one with God. One with power, one with poise, one with wisdom, one with all and everyone. And so I know that we are all part of this vast spiritual conspiracy. This conspiracy to allow God to move in and through each of us and each of those that we love and care about, and even those that we do not necessarily love, but do care about. That beyond our immediate knowing, there are others who may as well be lifted. And so we lift them and answer their prayers. Knowing with Dana that all is well for everyone and that prayers are answered for the best and highest good for all. And knowing that our word has power and that which we speak is as though God has spoken it. There's a power for good in the universe, and it works in and through each one of us. And as we speak right now, and as we believe with all of our hearts, so we know that Kirk's Uncle Pete is in a very successful surgery, that all comes together for good. That the doctors are simply gods in expression. That all of those attending him are that spirit, that power in the universe for good, and that it is working right now as good, for good, through him. We know that Heidi's friend Lori has an equally successful surgery. That everyone who attends her is in fact spirit, in doctors' costumes and nurses' costumes, and attendants' costumes, all of them, simply God, working its magic. And that her body, being part of the whole body of God, has a natural tendency to heal, and so it does that, does it very, very well and very, very quickly. That Heidi is always imbued with wisdom and with sparkle, and is a clear and dynamic presence, and especially so in her meetings with new and exciting clients. That who she is speaks so loudly that she is, and her ideas are, completely irresistible. That she has in fact gotten out of God's way and simply lets the spirit that she is shine through. And it is recognized by all concerned. And I know for this ministry, this gathering, this spiritual family, that we are blessed. And that we are growing in only the highest and best ways. That which we believe and that which we hold to be true and that which works in our lives, works in other lives as well. And our assignment is fulfilled in the highest and best ways. And I know, too, that none of us are adversely affected by what is called Mercury retrograde. Well, Mercury goes back and cleans up whatever it is it needs to clean up. We move forward and are blessed, each of us in our own way. And I know for Hazel Rose that she has an absolutely fabulous third birthday. That she knows she is loved, she knows she has friends, and she is excited about life. And all of we fairy godmothers hold in our hearts only the highest blessings for her. And that each of us sends her a magical wish. And she receives it and celebrates it and is one very happy little girl. And I know that anything unsaid or unspoken is known in the mind of the universe, and so is handled equally well. That we are blessed by our connection to each other, to spirit, and to all of those beyond the sound of my voice or our knowing, with whom we connect and help create a better world. And I know that whatever is going on with Spectrum is easily and gracefully worked through. that all is well. And we are grateful, so very, very grateful for our connection, for the miracles that are wrought in this space and this time, and for the way Spirit works in our world. When we let go, get out of the way, and let God be God. And so it is. So we let it be. Thank you, Dana, for our closing song. If you've lost track of it, just scroll back up the chat box a little bit. It's right there. Have the most wonderful week. Enjoy Mercury retrograde. It begins theoretically tomorrow, but I think it's already started. And let it bring blessings to you. Perhaps what it is going back to correct was a misunderstanding in your past, and now you can gloriously move forward. Have a fabulous week. I'll be here Wednesday at 7 and again next Sunday at noon. Hopefully a little clearer and a little less dark, but whatever. God bless you. Know that whatever you go out and get yourself into this week, you get into it with God, because you can do it no other way. God bless. See you Wednesday.